Guys, welcome back. Hey. All right, so this is going to be a bonus general message. I usually start these ones out with some anecdote, usually something pertaining to my dog, um, something real that happened. But obviously, we are changing backdrops because we got to get ready for the upcoming Lionsgate. And so we're just going to kind of keep that in mind right now, that we have an energy possibly coming in. My dog does adorable things continuously, frankly, so I could talk about him all day. But we start out with the energy of a third party intervention has destroyed our connection. Not a terrific way to start out for any kind of a bonus message. Usually they're not zodiac specific, and sometimes there's love, sometimes there's not. It's a little different each time, but this one is starting out with some pretty significant energy. So this feels like we're going to probably have to go on a deep dive. Let's go Guardian of the Night. We have Knight of Wands. Well, this would be the reason that somebody was back and forth, in and out. They popped in and then they would get siphoned back out of a connection again and again. The Death card, because of some incomplete energy elsewhere. Death card is Scorpio energy. I don't know. I would say that the connection was literally like kaput, because coming back and forth was not sustainable. It was actually building bad blood between two people, because it was back and forth. Tell me about the third party. Third party does not have to mean a lover. It could mean almost anything. It could be business related. It could be Three of Cups. I don't know. This looks like there was some kind of celebratory energy. The third party in this case could be vino, could be wine, could be too much of this, too much partying, too much like a negative influence that was always like an addiction or something that made somebody think that this was a good time, when in fact it was wrecking this connection. It was making them unstable. It was making them come back and forth. Now, could there have been another contender for someone's energy? Sure. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is about evolution of time. When we have to think about time passing and a new karmic balance, karmic cycle coming into play, I have to say this wasn't a bad thing that this connection got destroyed. It's the reality of it is, this was not the right time to even try to have this connection. Let's use the example of, say, somebody had an addiction and they were trying to have a relationship also, but their first relationship, and the one that was maybe most necessary that they really get a grip on, is their relationship with their addiction. That, if this is drinking too much, if the third party can be anything. If it was a connection with another person that they were still, flirting with or, dealing with, again, then they weren't in a head or heart space where they were able to be clear-minded or think about what they really wanted. Maybe this person never will be. The only thing is, for that first message to come out that way, a third party intervention has destroyed our connection. What I don't like about that statement is it acts like it's not my fault. Why would a third party intervention have the power to destroy a connection, right? This gives the third party all the power. So either that is legitimate, or this is somebody not willing to take responsibility. And that's what I think the language in that is what leads me to say, I wonder if this was a party lifestyle, an addiction, because a lot of times I think maybe it's fair to say that the addiction holds a lot of power over the individual, and it takes a huge amount of power for the individual to regain that power. So, to say that third party influence ruined this connection, they're like, the grip of the addiction is what destroyed this connection. Could we still say yes, but it's them who had the addiction? Yes, but again, let's think about it in the context of like, how powerful is that? How difficult is that to overcome? And now it makes a little bit more sense. There could also have been, let me go back here for just a minute and let me just say, let's look at that third party energy again, that 3 of Cups, 10 of Wands, and the Judgment. I feel like a choice was made for somebody to reconnect with, if this was about a relationship, they reconnected with an ex instead of choosing the initial connection. Or if this is not about that, this is a character who realized for the good of having another opportunity in the future with this connection, they needed to lay down the burdens of the addiction now. They needed to get over what they had to deal with. They need to shed an old skin before they could actually have success in this connection. And so it wasn't the right time. The bottom line is the third party intervention didn't destroy something. It made it clear that this couldn't have progressed. This needed to stop. Divine timing had to, time had to elapse. In divine timing, perhaps there could be another opportunity at this, but for the moment, this needed to stop. Actually needed to stop. This would not have been successful. Let me take a look and say, character, what did you want? They wanted the 10 of Pentacles. They wanted an amazing life. How did they feel about whoever the initial person is that they were connecting to that things got destroyed with? I thought that person was their Queen of Wands, and they also said, and it's going to be a freaking nightmare. It's a missed opportunity. I already feel I met this amazing person. I want the 10 of Pentacles, and I can't have it with her. This is already a missed opportunity. That's what I thought. This didn't really feel like some traditional, like, oh, but there was some other person that I was interested in, so I dropped you like a hot rock. I was a player. I was playing two sides of the fence. This felt all along like they had no ability to fully commit because something kept sucking them back out of this connection. The thing is, they knew it right out of the gate. I met somebody that I am crazy about, and there ain't going to be anything I can do to make this work. And all I want is to have this balanced, equal 10 of Pentacles life, and I can't do it right now. I absolutely cannot make this happen. And I know that the third party intervention is destroying my ability to have this connection with this Queen of Wands. What was the third party character? Can you tell us what it really was? We have Strength sideways. We have 8 of Pentacles. This was something work related, and their inability to have the courage to, or again, this could be an addiction. They needed to work on fighting against that third party, that thing. It could have been fear, and they needed to work on their fears. It could have been that they needed to work on something to do with work, maybe standing up to even a boss. I mean, a third party can be any energy that is siphoning their ability to live their own life according to their own, wants and desires, and make good, healthier choices for themselves. So if the third party was something that they either needed to work harder on finding the courage to put the third party energy in its place so that the addiction didn't control them, or the fears didn't control them, or a very demanding work schedule didn't control them, or the debts and the things that were stacking up and pulling their energy all the time didn't control them, or like debts that they owed to somebody else that they had to repay. Those things, there was something though here about courage. They had to stand up to something, is what I would say. That's what the third party energy was saying. They needed to put their foot down with something that they needed to stand up to. And it might have just been their own fears. Let me see if I can get any clearer. Wheel of Fortune, 5 of Cups. This makes me think they were not ready to actually like say, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going. They were not ready. They knew that they couldn't either, though. It wasn't the right time. They met the right person at the wrong time, when they were either still dealing with somebody who maybe manipulated them, or somebody who would have been very sad if they weren't around. Let's say this is like, I meet this amazing Queen of Wands, but to be with the Queen of Wands, I'd have to move to this other state. But I can't, because my child would miss me too much. I have to wait until my child is more, balanced, a little older. I can't just do that. Maybe they had a child from a previous connection or something. It's like, I can't break the heart of my child. I can't be away because I want to go choose another relationship. I have to wait until my child is more grown before I can do that. Or let's say, because of this, there's an element of confusion that I see in this. There's some element of like, I don't know if they were caretaking for somebody else and someone else's childlike happiness. This could have been an adult that they felt responsible for. This could be somebody that they had to attend to that person's needs. And as long as they were still working on making sure that that other person had everything that they needed and could keep that other person happy, if that was their primary focus, of course they can't build a 10 of Pentacles relationship with the Queen of Wands. Of course they can't. Their energy is being given elsewhere. Their concern, their consideration is being, they're doting upon someone else and making sure somebody else gets their happiness. So they can't possibly give equally to this new connection. Twice we see something about divine timing here. And twice this is about, I cannot leave somebody in despair and in disappointment. But the thing is, they had to work on their own courage to even face this. And maybe they needed to work harder at building some kind of financial abundance so that they could make sure someone would be taken care of, and then they could kind of like gain their freedom, or they felt like, then I'm allowed to say I'm going to walk away from a connection. There's something here about they had to change their life. We saw that heavily with this Judgment card, and we've also already seen the Death card. So both of these speak of transforming things, but this connection needed to end completely. There was absolutely no growth when we're dealing with the Knight of Wands, and they knew that too. So they ended this connection completely with the Queen of Wands because they were acting like a knight. They were in and out of her life. They weren't giving anything consistently. So they ended it completely, or the situation ended completely, because there was a loyalty, a concern given, an emotional concern definitely given to someone else. And that someone else could have been, I don't know, tell me about that someone else. Queen of Pentacles upright. Well, that's somebody who should be pretty stable on their own. We have the Magician sideways. Oh, no. Okay, so it wasn't legit. That's somebody else that they kept giving to. This isn't true. They're not actually a Queen of Pentacles. This could have been the mother of their child or father of their child. This could be a boss. This could be somebody, Empress in the reverse, King of Pentacles upright. It was some previous connection, but it's like they were in a connection that wasn't a traditional connection. They were with somebody that was not the Empress. In fact, this is a very cloying, grabbing, holding on tightly kind of connection, demanding. Look, an Empress in the reverse is just as toxic as an Emperor in the reverse. All of the negatives show up. This is somebody, they want what they want. They'll have it their way. They don't care about what other people want. It's all about me. You're my partner. Aren't we happy together? Do exactly as I say, and we'll keep up the facade that this is working just right. This could have been somebody that they had business ties with. This could have been, it was definitely a previous partner is what it's looking like. And the lie was that this is a nice partnership where this is where I want to be. This is not where I want to be. This is where I am forced to be, because an Empress in the reverse is, they can be very toxic. But again, this character needed to find the courage to stand up to the Empress in the reverse. Now, interestingly enough, there was some other component of, yes, but when I do leave someday, they'll cry a whole bunch. We saw that. They had to be strong enough to deal with the fact that, look, just because somebody is toxic doesn't mean that they don't also genuinely want an individual that they're being toxic with. But I really feel as if this lead character, who we'll now call the King of Pentacles, they stayed with an ex that maybe they had business ties with because they feared that person's behavior, their toxicity, their lashing out, but they also feared making this person really sad. They felt like, well, this person will be so sad if I go. At some point in the future, though, I'll be able to do that. Once I build up my courage, once I'm finally ready to let this go and I can handle the repercussions of it, once I no longer am scared to tell somebody I'm exiting this. But that's not where they have been at. This is all, no wonder they should not have been trying to be with a Queen of Wands. They couldn't match a Queen of Wands. It's so, let me go back to that first card. It's not a third party intervention that destroyed their connection. It was their own inability to, actually make decisions. Now, because we have the Wheel of Fortune twice, though, it could very well be that for whatever reason, as that karmic wheel spins, maybe they had business that they had responsibilities to that karmic, to that pretense of a relationship that they were in. Maybe they actually owed that person a debt, and you don't dip out on your debts. You pay those debts. You created them, you pay them back. That's what you have to do, especially if you don't want to accrue terrible karma. The only problem here is that I don't know what happened here. Like, they had somebody that they wanted, right? They met this Queen of Wands and they wanted this Queen of Wands. And so I'm just wondering, did they accrue any negative karma for having tried to start something here that they couldn't finish? So then they ended stuff with her in lieu of staying and paying down their karmic debts with that Empress in the reverse. They played a role in somebody else's life, some previous partner's life, and stayed with that previous partner to try to basically, buy themselves out of captivity. So then later, when time passes, later when they are more courageous, later when they feel like they can exit, then they'll be able to. But does that mean that they get this Queen of Wands back, or did they accrue negative karma on behalf of the situation with the Queen of Wands? Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at that, because admittedly, this is complicated, right? But let's take a look here. Whoops, sorry. I picked up a few cards from another deck, as we can see. I didn't mean to, but they were on top of each other and they're about the same size. In relationship to the Queen of Wands, what happened there? Page of Cups sideways, the sorry that I never gave. I'm sorry, but I didn't even say sorry. I owe an apology, but how do you apologize for that? Also, I didn't really properly ever make an offer. Wow. Chariot and the Five of Swords. They played this game out until she cut them out of her life. So she said, you need to go. I need to go. Bouncing out of this one. Well, let's take this to a part 2. I know this is kind of one of those messy fictional stories where it's like high drama, but grab your popcorn. We'll go into part 2 and we'll take a look at what these fictional characters do next. All right, you guys, thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. The free link will be in the description box.